Just wanted to say hi and welcome you to Rend and Mend. At least that's the working name that I'm going with right now for my channel. And I wanted to explain a little bit about what that means, Rend and Mend. What's my vision here? Well, I'm 55 now, and I am, let's see. Well, let me put it this way. You are meeting me at the beginning of my fourth incarnation, my fourth professional, vocational incarnation. So right now I am an attorney, I'm a lawyer who has chickens. And I want to get to be where I am a farmer who also practices law. Right now you're in my law office. Kind of show you around a little bit. I am a deer hunter. That is a relatively recent development in my life as well. But so a federal judge told me once, we were having a conversation, cup of coffee, Judge Van Tatenhove, and he said to me, you know, a lawyer needs to reinvent himself at least every 15 years to keep from going stale, from getting burned out, or whatever term you want to use. And I think that's probably true, just generally speaking. I think people have to reinvent themselves ever so often, at least until they find what I've heard referred to as a grace path, that kind of God-given path where you get into it and you find your passion. And I don't know why you would or need to incarnate yourself out of that. Now, there may be transitions while you're in that path, that grace path. That makes sense to me. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited because this feels like that last incarnation, that I'm actually going to be stepping into my grace path. And I want to document it. I want to share it. I don't know how many of you will be watching this. Maybe it'll be just for my daughters. Got 3 beautiful daughters, 24-year-old Caitlin, 20-year-old Rachel, and 16-year-old Emma. So I envision 2 years from now, it's going to be a 2-year process. You're going to meet my chickens here in a little bit. Living on a farm and learning how to do permaculture. I guess what they call homesteading, being able to have subsistence living from the efforts of my hands, and also hopefully make a little money, be able to market things. Rend and mend, that comes from the idea that there is nothing really new. Anything new is made out of mended leftovers, mended pieces and parts. So creating a new life, a new incarnation vocationally, means that I have torn up. I have rended the old. I have done violence to it in that it no longer exists in the form that it was. And take those pieces and parts, and then I can mend it into a new vocation, a new garment, as you will, that I would put on. You know, farming is a good metaphor for that, because you have to rend the ground. Now, I won't get into the plowing the ground. You know, I've been doing some studying about that. Plowing isn't great. It actually does damage. But even if you don't plow, you still have to rend the ground. You still have to dig into it, plant seeds in it, loosen it up, get rocks out, that kind of thing, before you can knit it back together with the roots of your produce. So rend and mend. And actually, I think that's a great metaphor for what we're seeing in our culture right now. We are seeing rending of an unprecedented level. We're we're not seeing much mending. Now, I have hopes that once this rending goes to a certain extent, then we will mend and we will see something hopeful and new emerge. I have some hope for that. And at the same time, I'm noticing that the rending that's going on is all outward focused. It's all directed at someone else, at the enemy, rending them, tearing them down, tearing their institutions down, tearing their rights and liberties down. I don't think that's the kind of rending that produces good soil and good produce, good growth, and something mended together new. I think it has. Excuse me. Sorry. I think it has to be a rending that you do with yourself. So I will meet you over at my chicken coop. From lawyer to farmer. I am currently living in a city, Lexington, Kentucky. It's not a big one. It's not a small one. I've lived here my whole life. Well, except for a couple of years that I don't remember when I was like a little pre-elementary school age kid. Toddler, I guess I was. Anyways, lived here, at least 53 of my 55 years. And at one point in time, I just thought this was where I was going to sink down roots and stay right here. Well, excuse me, I drank some soda and I'm burping all over the place. Shouldn't have done that right before I got on the video. There's been a couple of things that have happened. One is when I was a kid, I did have this dream. I had a dream of being a farmer, of living in the rural Kentucky and being away from city life, of living on the old home place that my mom's family had in West Liberty, Morgan County, Kentucky. Loved it there, loved it. It grieved me so much when I saw the big cornfields that were out in front of the old home place, and there was a garden in back, and they had barn, and it grieved me when I was getting older and still visiting up there and seeing houses go in where the cornfields had been. Oh, it really did. And then I end up spending all this time here in Lexington, in a city, and I've been itching to get away for a few years now. Let me scale that back. I've been mainly itching just in the last couple of years. And then a little over a month ago, we had a fire. The neighbor's house next door caught on fire, and before the fire department, just 1:30 in the morning, dog barking woke me up. We got out of the house, and I was standing there when the fire department pulled up and were getting their hoses out, and before they could get their hoses on our house, it had leaped from our neighbor's house over to ours. Not a big leap. I'd say it's probably 10 feet between our houses. Well, so now we're out of that house for 4 months, well, maybe longer, while they rebuild it. And that, coupled with having spare time on my hands, shortly after that I got COVID, which was basically a mild cold, but still have some of the throat and respiratory residual effects of that. I'm told that that can take several months to clear up, or will never clear up. Deal with it either way. But had time on my hands, where we were out of our nice comfort zone of the house. All that, we were rended. There was a tearing. Going back to what I was talking about with rend and mend, we have been rended out of our house. It's torn us out of our comfort zone, and maybe that's God talking, maybe not. I choose to err on the side of thinking that God uses circumstances. Doesn't always make the circumstance, but uses the circumstance to move us. So that's where we're at. We are currently living in this apartment. I'm driving two to three times a day to the chickens to let them out, because still want to have them have time in the backyard, at least for as long as we can, before the construction gets going full stream. Out in the yard, eating the bugs and the worms, and getting some natural food in their bellies. So I'll show you the coop here in just a little bit. Been watching a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. Justin Rhodes, Joel Salatin, a few others. I wish I could think of their names right off the bat. Some good videos, very inspiring videos. You know, really make me believe that I can. And I love this one episode I just watched. Justin Rhodes did a video on basically abundance philosophy or abundance thinking, and making the point about our self-talk and how we talk with ourselves moves us in one direction or another. And he said, got this from somebody else, but you know, it's not just saying yes you can, not just saying that to yourself, but more of an interrogatory kind of self-talk where you assume you can. You don't even have to say it, you assume that you can. And so then the self-talk is, how can I want to get on several acres, probably going to be my wife's property that she already has down in Pike County. She already has roughly 40 acres, and it's going to be hard place to farm. It's very steep elevation, very tiny bit of flat land. Thankfully, it's southern facing, so there is that. But the question needs to be, or the self-talk needs to be, how can I make that transition? How can I be on that land, homesteading, or comparable land? But I think it's going to be that land, and there's some reasons I'll tell you about here in a minute that I think that land is the right land. How can I be there 2 years from now, homesteading, farming primarily, and doing some lawyering on the side to supplement the income? Anyways, show you my chickens here in just a bit. Okay, we're at the house. Told you about the fire. You can see behind me where our neighbor's house has been wrapped. I'll show you real quickly here what I'm talking about. Not a lot in the front of our house, but the fire went up and into the attic, and well, anyways, we're out of there for a few months. Show you my chicken coop now. Got some ideas for the second evolution when I get on the farm. I really like some of the ideas that I've seen with Joel Salatin and from Justin Rhodes. Keep dropping their names, but they got some great ideas. Anyways, here are my ladies. We got 2 Dominiques, a Barred Rock, 2 Cinnamon Queens, and 2 Rhode Island Reds. Now, amazingly, all right, y'all come on out. I built this chicken coop. I built the door by hand. I converted an old play set. This was the fortress part of the play set, and the main beam going across was where the swings were. Converted it into a chicken coop. Got a drawer down here that we can pull out using construction sand in the bottom of it, chicken or cat scoot litter to take that out, clean it out every week or two, and chicken boxes over here. Got some deeper litter there in the run. Hello, ladies. Yeah, you're getting out in the sun. That's right. You can see I just don't have a whole lot of land here, but it works for 7 chickens, and I think that when I get some land, there's some ways to keep moving the chickens around and benefit them, as well as getting them to do some double duty, get rid of some of the, I think they scratch up a lot, and they'll get rid of the weeds and stuff, and fertilize stuff, and some great stuff that chickens do. Oh, I was going to tell you all why I think the Pikeville land, well, first of all, it's there. Second of all, my wife owns it. Yeah, y'all can come out too. Need to check for eggs here. One of the neat things, though, is because we want to make a difference in the community, and down at the foot of the holler, there's supposed to be a drug rehab program that has purchased the old elementary school at the foot of the holler. And here we go. Yeah, we got some eggs. We've been doing 3 or 4 eggs a day. That one's lighter color. 3 or 4 eggs a day during the winter. We were getting 5 or 6 during the summer. Got 8 one day. That's when I realized we had all hens. 8 eggs out of 7 hens. Rare, but it happens. Straight run too. You would think we would have gotten some roosters. We really didn't want roosters, but we expected roosters from a straight run. But we were blessed with all hens. Yes, we were. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, there's nothing there. Anyways, we just have a vision that there's a way that we could provide great learning opportunity for folks that are going through that drug rehab, and forming partnership with them. Don't know exactly what that would look like, but I think it's a great opportunity. Pike County, rural Pike County, is it's a lot of poverty. The coal mines went through. There's very few active coal mines there. All strip mining now, and not a lot of jobs. Ages ago, before the coal mines, people were farming there, agriculture. There's timber that can be done, timbering that can be done. But at this point, people aren't doing a lot of farming. It's a hard place to farm. You need to be innovative in how you do it. And I and my wife both would like to give it a real go and see if we can show the community how to do a successful hillside farm, a combination of some flat land and, hey there, yeah, some flat land and forest farming. So that's going to be quite the challenge. What a good challenge. Really good challenge. Real sense of purpose in that. Help the community directly by partnering with the drug rehab program that's supposed to go in. Help the community indirectly by showing how industry, for the ag industry, can return to that area and revitalize that area. Anyways, hope you guys will follow me, and hope I'm able to inspire you. At 55, that's the unique part. Joel and Justin started farming fairly young. This is at 55, and we're going to make a go of it. Y'all take care. Well, y'all are very photogenic today.